What's going on, YouTube? We're going to be doing the rest of our Week 2 picks, and we're going to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Giants. I'm going to take the Giants in this one. I think they have to win after losing the way they did on the first game of the season, defending champions, everything like that, and the way their defense played. They need to bounce back. An 0-2 start might be catastrophic for the defending champs.
Yeah, you're right. They can't afford to lose two straight at MetLife Stadium, and I think they will win. I just think they're the better team. Buccaneers, although they had a win, I'm not sure how good it was. Might just be a little fool's gold, a lot of new systems there. I think Giants are going to win this one. Next game, we got the Oakland Raiders at the Miami Dolphins. I think the Oakland Raiders will win this easily, not because I think they're a really good team, mainly because I think the Dolphins are a really bad team. If Oakland can shore up their special team problems that they had in Week 1, this will be an easy win for them.
Yeah, I'm taking Oakland as well. I don't think Ryan Tannehill looked very good at all last week for the Dolphins. He was facing the Texans' defense, but I think McFadden should have a huge game against Miami. All right, next we got the Texans at the Jaguars. I'm taking Houston. There's really no explanation. I just think they'll win outright easily.
Yeah, Houston's a Super Bowl contending team. Jaguars are a contending team for a number 1 overall pick. MJD didn't show me anything in Week 1. Blaine Gabbert is Blaine Gabbert, and Arian Foster looks like he's ready for another All-Pro season. Next up is the Ohio battle between the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. I like the Bengals in this. I think they're a really good team. They're going to be fighting for a wild card seed. The Browns were just awful. Brandon Wheaton didn't play good at all Week 1. If he could just play barely good enough, they could have beat the Eagles. But I just like the Bengals. I think they'll have a bounce-back week after a tough loss.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals as well. I really liked them last week to win. They obviously, didn't prove me right, but I think they should easily beat the Browns. Next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. Even though the Bills' defense looked awful last week, I'm still taking them to win against Kansas City. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to need a big game. Even without Fred Jackson, I think C.J. Spiller should have a pretty big game.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you there. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm jumping off the Bills bandwagon even after 1 week. Their defense looked terrible. I know it's just 1 week, a lot of new people. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, man, he just can't get it done after he signed that big contract. Now we got a great matchup between the Baltimore Ravens at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Ravens are going to win this game, not by a lot, but that's just because they have a tendency to lay an egg after a big win, like they did last year after they beat Pittsburgh opening week. But I still think they'll be able to squeak by Philly with a 3-point win.
I'm going to take the Ravens as well, but I was leaning towards the Eagles at first, but I just don't like the way Michael Vick looked in Week 1 against a Browns defense. Now he's got to face that tough Ravens defense. Even at home, I don't think the Eagles will be able to win. I'm taking Baltimore. Next is an NFC South matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. I want to say Carolina just because the Saints got upset last week, but I think Drew Brees wants to bounce back, kind of like an Aaron Rodgers effect. He's too good to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the Saints know how important this game is, being in the division. Panthers looked pretty bad Week 1, couldn't run the ball at all, and I think the Saints will have a nice solid win this week. Next up is the Arizona Cardinals at the New England Patriots. Kevin Kolb in for quarterback now. John Skelton hurt for the Cardinals. I think the Patriots are going to win this pretty easily. I'm a little biased because I'm a diehard Patriot fan, but I think they just got too much offense, and their defense looked pretty darn good last week.
Yeah, the Patriot defense did look a lot better against Tennessee last week. I'm going to take the Patriots. I think they should be able to run over the Cardinals. Next, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to take Andrew Luck and the Colts at home. They didn't look good at all last week against the Bears, but I think Andrew Luck wants to get that first win out of the way, and at home in front of his new fans, I think the Colts will pull out the win.
Yeah, I think Indy will be rocking, but I think Minnesota's going to come away with the win. Adrian Peterson, he's just a machine being able to come back and score 2 touchdowns after a torn ACL. I think it'll be close, but Minnesota will win. Washington Redskins at the St. Louis Rams. I wasn't too sold on RG3, but after Week 1, he looked pretty darn good. The Rams look good against the Lions, but I think the Redskins are going to start off 2-0 and be contenders for the NFC East.
I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to take the Rams. I think they They just missed winning that game against the Lions last week. I think RG3 is riding a little bit high off that win. I think the Rams will pull off the upset and bounce back in week 2. Next is the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks against the 12th man. I'm still taking Dallas. They looked incredible last week against the Giants. Tony Romo, if he has a game anywhere near what he did against the Giants, he should be able to beat up the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win this one too. I still think Matt Flynn should be starting for the Seahawks. Cowboys defense looked like they fixed all their problems from last year. Tony Romo looks like he's finally confident in himself. I think this will be a win for the Cowboys. Now we got the New York Jets at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Steelers are going to have a bounce-back win after a tough loss in Denver. Jets had an offensive explosion, but if you look at it closely, it really wasn't too much to do with their offense. Their defense played great against Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I don't know if that's saying much, but this will be a nice, tough-fought AFC game, but I think the Steelers are going to win.
Now I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home in this one, too. I liked what the Jets did on offense last week, but I hope they don't get too overconfident in themselves because you know how they feel once they get those back page headlines.
Yeah.
I'm taking Pittsburgh. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans at the San Diego Chargers. I like the Titans. I have them as a playoff team. I think they'll win this game against Phillip Rivers and the Chargers.
The Chargers should win this game, in my opinion, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose just because they are the Chargers, but I think they will win. They looked pretty solid last week. They didn't turn the ball over, which is always iffy with them, so I think the Chargers will win. Now we got the Detroit Lions at the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Niners are going to win this pretty easily. You know, last year when they played, they had a little scuffle at the end of the game between the two coaches when they exchanged handshakes. But Niners looked too good in all three areas of the game last week versus the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners as well. I don't think the Lions' offense will be able to do much against the Niners' defense. I think San Francisco's offense is much improved. They proved it last week. Even though it was against Green Bay, I like the 49ers to win this one. And to close out week 2, we got the Monday night game between the Broncos and the Falcons. I'm taking Peyton Manning in Denver in this one, even on the road. Peyton Manning proved that even with all the neck surgeries, he is fine. He's going to have a big game against Atlanta, who is missing Brent Grimes now.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's going to win this. I wrote on the website how I just think Atlanta really needs a statement win, and this is going to be on national stage, Monday Night Football, whole league watching. I think they're going to win this pretty convincingly by 10 points.